to Babblecast. I am Typo, and I am a level 26 Litwit with Ember, Astonish, Firespin, and Flail.
And
Yay!
I'm Spunky Mutt, and I don't play Pokemon. So,
Liar.
I don't. I did.
You play Pokemon
I play Pokemon
Stadium.
Stadium, but I don't think that counts.
That does count.
Does it? Does it really?
It's a Nintendo 64. It does count.
I guess you're right.
I mean, if you have to put up with Jigglypuff and her directional mini games,
Now,
then you play Pokemon.
what if? Why is Jigglypuff a girl?
Oh wait, I meant Clefairy. Was it Clefairy or
Why
Jigglypuff?
is they can be a boy and or a girl, can't they?
Well, it was.
Right? I'm just saying. Why do we have to assume it's a female?
Hi everyone, and welcome to Babblecast. It has been a while, but we're not dead.
We're not dead. We
I don't think we are.
No, we were very, very busy. Very busy people.
We were so
Oh my
busy. I don't remember
God.
the last few weeks. I don't remember life after Easter.
Yeah,
Up
we
to
were
this
actually
point.
discussing earlier, uh, what you all missed out on, and we couldn't even remember. So it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah, you'll get a nice little summary of life, and then we'll move on
So we're calling this overview, and
with
we're not gonna do an
Babbles.
in-depth thing of the week. We're just kind of gonna touch over the more interesting aspects of our otherwise boring existence over this past month.
And seriously, that's all you really need.
That's all.
Like seriously.
You don't need to hear about our lives. You don't know our lives.
You don't need to hear how I stayed up till like 2 in the morning on accident. On accident. How do you stay up on
But you
accident?
just heard about it, so now you know.
So, after Easter, a lot of work and school happened. A lot of. We took mid. Was it
I
midterms?
actually
I
didn't
think
have
we
any
did midterms.
midterms,
I had midterms,
which is weird.
and I did okay.
You did,
But, yeah.
yeah.
I did okay.
Yeah, I didn't have midterms for some reason. I had the my two classes. Well, one of them was my art class, my ceramics class, and I don't know. We just continued working. We didn't have any like special thing. And
Yeah.
other one was my government class. And my government class, I'm not sure why we didn't have a midterm. We just kind of had another test, but it wasn't like any super
It wasn't
special
like
deal.
the
It wasn't
test.
like the test. It was just like, yeah, this is your next test, and we're just taking it in the midterm era.
Yay, midterms. I had a midterm in literature, Western Lit, and it was okay. And then I had midterm in accounting, and oh, okay, it wasn't midterm. It was just test. It was like exam three.
Yeah,
Exam
yeah.
three.
Like they not very for some reason the midterm isn't followed as strictly here. I don't know why.
No. Well, no, I think we did have midterms. I'm just getting them confused with like
Other
the
tests.
third of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I had tests, and MIS almost kicked my butt until my teacher showed us mercy. Because, hey, both his classes failed that one
He
test.
needed a gimme.
He did, because he is a nice man, but he is very frustrating. Like, incredibly frustrating. Because even he is sometimes like, I wonder what went wrong. Let me take 20 minutes to figure it out. 20 minutes pass. Oh, that's where it went wrong. Moving on. It's like, oh, what? How did you fix it? Where did you fix it?
I don't understand how we got from point A to point C.
Yeah. No, it's more like how we got from point A to point J while beating up point B and, like, totally ignoring point E while somehow throwing point, like, K and, like, point T into the mix. I don't know. It was confusing. It was just a lot of
A lot of
confusing.
steps. It was a lot of steps.
Yeah. So, Wolfie, tell me about glazing. I know you're excited to explain glazing
Uh,
to the children.
yes, I'm sure. Uh, ceramics glazing, just to clear that up because I'm sure many of you were like, "What glazing? Are
Donuts.
we, are, what is this?" No, ceramic.
They probably thought they were getting like free donuts from
Yeah,
us.
free
Ha!
donuts, free giveaway. You get a box of donuts in questionable condition.
Actually, you don't because we could get in trouble for that.
Yeah, no, so yeah, so that was what we've been doing, in my ceramics classes. We, he came up to us one day and said, everything has to be built by this day, because after that day, the clay is disappearing and you'll never see it again.
Oh no.
So, so yeah, my happy butt stayed at at school for,
Well,
and
after
then well
hours.
after hours, we have lab hours after our classes are done. And yeah, I was working like a mad person getting it all done. So we glazed, and glazing was funny actually because he was getting all in depth with it on how to glaze, and a lot of you were like, "Well, don't you just paint the glaze on there?" And the answer is no, you do not. You do not. That is the most wrong thing to do apparently, even though that was how I learned it in high school. No,
Oh
that
no.
is that is a no-no. No, you have these we come in and we have these canvas top tables where we normally, uh the term is wedging clay, and it's just, I'm not going to get into that because it's a whole other thing. Uh
Just continue
and
on.
he's got on the top of these canvas top tables, the clay is all gone, and he's got these, I think like maybe closer to 8 buckets. These gigantic buckets, and coincidentally, typo, they were from Shipley Donuts. It was
Of course
it was
they
like their icing
were.
buckets. I don't know.
Ew.
And I mean, they didn't have icing in them anymore. They had ceramic glaze. And the ceramic glaze is basically colored mud. That's kind of, in case you're wondering the consistency of that, it's basically just colored mud.
It looks like mud. It tastes like mud. It smells like mud. It must be mud.
So, I'm not going to ask how you know what mud tastes like. Um,
Oh,
but moving on.
well.
Uh, so yeah, so he's explaining this whole thing, and like you have to stir it all by hand, and he's like, he pulls it out and it looks like something out of an alien movie. His whole hand is just red, and then you have to, once you've stirred it by hand, you have to stir it with this gigantic whisk every 5 minutes, and then you basically, uh, you have the option of using your hand or using these tong-like things to hold on to your piece. It really depends on how comfortable you are with each one, and
So we can just say he's very passionate about glazing.
he's making sure we do a good job, and for good reason, because you can f up your project so fast with glazing. Like,
I
no
bet.
no BS here. If you glaze it wrong, your whole thing is just shot. So that was why he was getting all in depth and explaining very seriously how to do this thing correctly. And so once he's all done, all of us newbies. Okay, so our class is weird because we're like a mixture of ceramics B1 and ceramics 2,
Mhm.
and so all of us ceramics 1 people were all scared beyond our wildest dreams to start this glazing. So we're all like taking our time with getting it prepared for glazing. And he's like, I sense there's a hesitation. You guys need to get this done. And we're like, we're getting there. Don't rush us. This is not a race. I don't want to mess it up. So I was the brave one, and I did mine. I did my first one, and then like as soon as I did it, like everyone else was like, "How to do it? How to go? How to go? I want to know." And I showed them, and it was beautiful. And then I started the trend, and they all glazed.
Woo.
So I finished up my glazing last week. So I don't know what I'm gonna do the last 2 days. This is the last week for classes, so
It is. Well, actually, the Monday, this is my last week of class, and then the one Monday.
Yeah, that's right. You have your schedule's a little longer than mine. We're
Weird.
we're done after this week, and then we have finals next week.
Yeah.
But
My
anyway,
finals fall in the last week. It sucks. Oh, it sucks. And then, let's see, after school stuff, what happened next was our trip.
yes, that was so much fun. We had this planned for a couple months actually, didn't we?
Yeah, because we had to plan ahead of time because of work.
Yeah. So it just evolved from we were originally going to where were
Nah,
we?
let's not say it. We're gonna go to a town that was very well known for its shopping districts because it had a lot of outlets and a lot of designer stores, but it also had like a lot of outlet stores that were really affordable, really nice. It was just a big shopping area that we're gonna go to. And instead, because of some complications, we ended up going to a nearby city.
We went to the San Antonio Zoo. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to go to all of it because not everyone was totally on board with it. Me and Typo were the only one that were like, "Dude, let's go to the zoo."
We kind of had to plead our
we
case. I think the zoo is something we need to do on our own
I
time
know.
because I really did feel bad that not that we dragged them with us because I didn't really care that we
I
dragged them
didn't
with
care. I
us. I
wanted to
just
see the
felt
zoo.
yeah, I just felt bad that they were kind of like, "Well, we'll see." And I was just like, well, we're here, so we might as well."
Right?
Of course, I wouldn't be mean to your family like that.
But anyway, yeah, it was awesome. It was hot, but it was still awesome. We saw.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, yeah, it
I had
actually
a
wasn't
long
as bad as it
sleeve
could have
on.
been.
It was kind of cool. It got hot as the day went on, and we were done by then. So
Yeah. And we
let's
really
see.
only got through a third of it because apparently this place is humongous. It seemed a lot
Yeah.
smaller to me, but apparently there's like a whole other wing to it that we missed, and so
See,
we're
I
we're
thought we went through at least like two thirds
yeah,
of
no,
it.
when I talked to my dad because he'd been there a couple times, and I told him he was like, yeah, you guys got through like maybe a third of it because he was like, it wouldn't have taken you that long to get through the whole thing.
You know what it would have been? What the? You know what would have been fun if we had taken your dad with us to the zoo.
I know. My,
I
my
mean,
my dad when I told him,
your mom is fun, but she's more fun with shopping
yeah,
than zoo.
my
Like,
dad had possibly the funniest zoo experience when he was in the Air Force. He was in Colombia for a little bit,
hmm
and when he was in Colombia, he went to the Colombian zoo, and he was explaining this to me, and he was like, "Their idea of a zoo is way different." He's like, in your standard zoo, like the one you went to, the animals are in cages, and you're walking through looking at them in the cages. And he goes, we had two guys with machine guns leading us through an open pen with all these monkeys in it.
oh
And
my
and, and they're
gosh.
like, oh, they kept telling him, oh, it's okay, they won't do anything, and they're over here with guns. And my dad's like, I don't believe you. I want to leave. This isn't fun.
But yeah, I think zoo needs to be a typo spunky
Will be our
adventure.
road trip.
Yeah. 'Cause again, I love your mom. She's fun, but she's fun when she's in her element of clothes shopping
Yes.
and shoe shopping. Mostly shoe shopping.
So
We kind of crashed a little at the end, but that was because we were in a jewelry store that none of us could afford to buy jewelry
it was
from,
just fun.
except for maybe one
It was
person.
it was fun to look at.
It was, but being there for like an hour,
We weren't there for an hour.
I thought we
No, we
were.
weren't. We weren't there for that long.
It
I
felt
think it
like that
felt like
long.
an hour to you.
Yeah. I think it's because the store was so small that,
You finished looking at everything within the first few
and then
minutes.
and then it was just like, well, what now?
Yeah. Well, so yeah, there was that.
Because I know you sat on the couch that they had
I was
after a
I was
while.
chilling. I was doing my thing.
Yeah. And then after our trip,
After our trip, it
your
kind of went.
nephew came over.
He's not my nephew.
I mean, your cousin came over.
Sorry, my dad was having the same problem. He was like, go talk to your aunt Spunky. He didn't call me Spunky, obviously, but I'm saying that. And I kept telling him,
Mhm.
Dad, he's not my aunt. That would make you and me brother and sister, and we're not going down that road.
I'd like to point out there that I love Spunky's little cousin.
He's
Like, you don't even know.
Yes,
He is
my
just the
little
cutest
cousin
thing.
is 4 years
His name is
old.
Yoda.
We
We're gonna call him
that,
Yoda.
that that's his nickname. That's what we call him. Where my family is really into Star Trek and Star Wars, and so when
And
when
Battlestar.
we saw his first sonogram, my uncle, his dad, said that he looked like Yoda in the sonogram. So
I'd like to point out that his dad has a great sense of
he
humor.
does, and
He
so yeah, his nickname is Yoda for that reason.
and he is just the cutest little ball of everything.
Yes.
He is the ideal child. Well, won't go that far, but he's just an
He
adorable kid.
he gives you faith in having kids again.
Yes, because he is just so cute. Like I could not play with him. Like Typo's inner
Inner 5-year old.
inner 5-year-old and inner motherly feelings came out and was just like, "Child, we are going to play."
We're going to have so much fun right now.
And Spunky can attest. I had
You
fun,
did. Oh my goodness. I think you had more fun than I did.
and it was her house.
Yeah.
It was her family, and I had too much fun.
Yes.
Bubble lightsaber and all.
Yeah, we had him out there chasing the bubbles and he
Saving the world,
yes.
one bubble at a time. His imagination is terrific,
Yes.
and I hope he never
I hope
loses
I
it.
have to hope so. I really do. This kid, oh my goodness. He's an only child for one. Uh
Second of all, he's only
He's only
4.
4, and he I don't think he has like long-term friends yet. I think he's just met some kids
Yeah,
occasionally who he's played
but
with.
he has a vast knowledge of Star Wars that would put to shame all of
He
you
he
nerds on the
he
internet.
could he could shame some of these 15-year-old Star Wars fanatics that are out here right
He
now.
could shame some of these 48-year-old Star Wars
And
fanatics.
and you think I'm kidding, but I was watching him the other morning, and he's showing he has just millions upon millions of these little kitty like clone trooper action figures that he has, and he sets up armies with them and has like all these battling games, and he's explaining to me about what an AT walker is, and he knew what it was, what it looked like, what it did, how to pronounce it correctly. I'm pretty sure if he knew how to spell, he could spell it correctly.
She was thoroughly
I
impressed
was.
with your young
I won't
cousin.
lie, it brought a tear to my eye. I was like,
And
"Welcome to the family."
and this boy, I have this is the first time I've met this boy because he lives very far away from me. Well, from us. He lives very far away from us. And the moment I walked into the house, he just looked at me like he was playing his game. I was like, "Oh, hi, hi, we're playing his game." And then I stood up and he just screamed, "Boba Fett!" And he jumped on me. This child climbed me like a mountain and was like, "We're going to fight to the death." And I'm like, "What?"
He and his dad watch that Clone Wars cartoon that comes on Cartoon
Mhm.
Network. That's their thing. So
Oh.
that's how he knows all the characters.
He hasn't. Your uncle said he hadn't gotten. He got through like 2
Yeah,
movies
my,
and
my
then half
uncle's
of
been
one.
showing him the movies, and he says he went through 4 or 5 because I was playfully getting on my uncle, and I was like, how does he know what an AT Walker is? But he didn't know that Darth Vader was Luke's father, and my uncle got all mad, and he was like, and you didn't say spoiler alert first? And I was like, how does he not know? That's like the basic fundamental of Star Wars. And he was like, he's seen four and he's seen kind of parts of five, but he always falls asleep before you get to that part.
Before you get to like
The
the moment
bombshell.
of truth. And you know what? I've never even seen all of the Star Wars movies. I haven't even gotten through the the main one,
And even
and
you
I even
knew.
know that Darth Vader is Luke's father. Even I know the whole scene of
Yeah.
no,
That's just it's classic.
and something about the hand being chopped off.
Yeah, as his hand gets
I don't
chopped
know.
off.
I never understood why, but
It's just something that
doesn't
happened
he
during
get
a
like a
fight.
robot
Yeah,
hand?
he gets a robot hand.
Okay, then I am aware.
You got it. You got it.
I am in the loop. So that was how
And
we
they left
filled up
today,
time.
so that sums up our week, so our what we've missed so far. And that
Our
only
week
took
suck.
20 minutes to explain. I don't think we
You
meant for
know,
that to go that long. We're sorry, people.
it's okay. We we're good.
We're good.
So, I'm going to pull something up that relates to what we're going to talk about next. You know what we're talking about next, right?
I do. I was waiting for you to pull it up.
Okay, I am. From the lovely website of giantbomb.com.
Oh, then I don't
So,
know.
huh?
I'm lost. Continue.
It's Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek.
Oh my goodness. Nope. You did not just do that.
You know
You
what?
did nope.
We were talking. Hey, hey,
We are no longer
shush.
friends.
Well,
We are
fine.
no longer friends.
Sir, sir, we were talking about Star Wars.
No,
Okay, it stuck to my brain, so
it's
get over it.
it's too
Build a
late.
bridge and get over it. Build a bridge and get over it.
No, there is no
Do
getting
you
over
want me
that.
to fight you?
Come
I
at
will
me, bro.
I will go through this freaking Skype box and I will knock you out.
I will knock you into next. I'm gonna hit you so hard that when you wake up, your clothes are gonna be out of style.
Oh please, you wouldn't get a chance to hit me. And you know this is true.
Pull up your video.
I'm not pulling up a video, I'm pulling up a review. We're
Oh,
going to talk about Star Trek. Jesus.
yes. Okay. So now
God.
that I have recovered from just the psychological trauma,
Oh, shut up.
um, we you shut up. Uh,
Make me. Just talk. God.
I'm trying. Stop making me laugh.
So anyways, Spunky pre-ordered
Yes.
Star Trek the video game.
Yes, the one that came out this past Tuesday. I had to pick it up a little later. I had
Money troubles.
I had money troubles. Um so I had to pick it up on Friday, but they held it for me. They were very nice. Thank you GameStop. Shout out. Um so I got it on Friday and I didn't touch it because it has co-op is a co-op mode. And I actually wanted to try it first as a co-op, which is unusual because I always try out the single player first and then I play the whatever multiplayer option there
But you
is.
know what? I was there, so she really wanted to try out the co-op.
Yeah, so I had an actual partner. I was like,
And we
no,
also
I'm
had your
waiting.
uncle, and that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
He was
yeah, that
mean to
was
me.
funny. Yes, my uncle loves me. I'm his favorite niece in the entire whole wide world.
And I'm his
So
favorite typo in the whole wide world.
yes,
And he shows
so
that with hate.
he does. So whenever I'd mess up, he'd be like, "Well, clearly Spunky was so awesome that Typo just couldn't handle it."
And I'd be like, well, you know what? I am under a lot of pressure. And if someone wasn't talking to me, I'd probably be just as awesome. And it kind of
So
went like that for like a few hours.
yes, any hoozle. Uh,
Don't do that again.
what? I say that.
Any hoozle?
That's not yeah. Any hoozle, I say that.
I've never heard you say that.
Oh, maybe I don't say that to you then. Now I did. Now you're part of it.
God. Just
But
continue.
we yeah got Star Trek. We decided to play the co-op mode, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Typo, You have you played shooter games before, or you just
I
like
don't play shooter games. I've tried Halo with my cousins before,
yeah?
and I
Because
accidentally killed my cousin in the
yeah.
game.
So yeah,
So
it she's
from the,
had experience in them, but she doesn't prefer them.
no, I haven't even had experience in them. Well, okay, I've had like maybe a
You had
dabble in them.
that's what I meant. I was like, you've
Okay,
played them before. That's experience.
no matter how much I complained about how bad I am at shooter games, I was probably the only person killing things in this game.
I was killing stuff.
Even your uncle was like, Typo is like the only one killing things. And that's like a compliment I don't get very often.
Yes.
So, I like sharpshooting. I'm pretty good when it comes to sharpshooting.
Oh yeah.
I'm not good in chaotic environments where it depends on my life to shoot something to death.
This is why you're not in the military.
Yeah. No, I'd be screaming the whole time.
Yeah. But anyway, so
I
yeah.
screamed in your room. I was like, "Go away, go away, go away, go away. No, 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 no." Oh, it died. Okay. Moving on.
Yes. We won't go into too much about what it's about, just, since it's still fairly new.
And
But
since we didn't get that far,
we really didn't get that far.
because it's kind
We there there's a part where you're on a space station, and that's not a spoiler because it's where you start out.
yeah,
Is the part where you're on a space station and you I don't know if you're trying to keep it from blowing up. I don't even remember. We weren't paying very much attention to the cutscenes because we had a bunch of people in the room with us who were all talking, and we even made a comment and we're like, it's a good thing that this isn't like real time. This isn't a timed experience because if
yeah,
this were in real life, we would have been dead hours ago.
yeah.
Because
We
I
took a
swear we
while.
we took for on a mission that probably should have taken 15 minutes tops. It took us like a half
45
hour,
minutes.
a half hour to 45 minutes getting this
And you
thing
know what?
done.
It's because I couldn't find what I was supposed to shoot at, so we had to swap jobs. So, okay, I'm gonna explain now. You start out this game in the co op. You get to pick whether you want to be Captain Kirk or Spock. Guess who wasn't Spock because someone got to choose first?
You know what? I'm Spock because I love Spock. I loved Spock before he was cool.
And I'm Mother effing Kirk.
Yeah, Captain Kirk.
Captain
Or,
Kirk.
or as my uncle so eloquently put, he's the village bicycle. Everyone's had a
No,
ride.
he's the space bicycle.
He's a space bicycle.
Anywho, you
And
get to
I know that's a quote from Austin Powers, just so you all know. I know that was from Austin Powers. My uncle is not original. He just quotes funny stuff.
he does. So, you get to choose which person you want to play. If you're playing co-op, obviously you pick one, the other person gets the other. So, they start off on their mission. Controls are explained, all that basic stuff. And movement and as I think the controls were done well. I really didn't like the camera.
The camera was weird, and then
The camera was frustrating.
the camera was frustrating. The way they split the screen in co-op,
Was frustrating.
they split it horizontally instead of vertically, and
There's a
I
lot
guess it's
of
all a
things.
matter of preference. We didn't like the horizontal split screen just because I don't know. It seemed
I have an explanation why I didn't like the horizontal screen. I didn't like the horizontal screen because you needed your upper vision and your lower vision, and the horizontal cut it off.
yeah,
You
that's true.
needed to
You
see the
really
ceiling and you needed to see the floor. And
it I think it would have been easier to move your camera side to side
looking
looking around
around.
you than it was to constantly have to look up and look down
And
to
sometimes I
figure
lost
out.
sight of my character model. And then there was one occasion where you turned the camera and you were just inside Spock's head. Sock.
Yes, that was hilarious. I at one point in the game I died. It's just one of the several times that I died in that game. And when one person dies, I mean the whole game is over. You have to retry it.
Yeah, you have to
And
go back to the checkpoint, and these checkpoints are long. Like,
yeah.
one of the
I think
checkpoints, I was
I
kind
think
of
even though they were
sad.
longer checkpoints, It wasn't that bad.
It
It could have been a
wasn't.
lot
It
worse.
could have, but having to start the mission over was a little. Well, we knew what to do then, but still, it was a little, like, redundant.
Yeah.
I was
But
like,
anyway, so
button.
when they reset us at the checkpoint, they had my camera angle at a weird angle, and it was like way too zoomed into Spock's face, like to the point where you were inside the 3D model of his head, so you were just staring at his eyeballs, and it was like, "Hi, Spock." It was nightmare fuel for
It
sure.
was, but your uncle laughed so loud, it was just so funny.
Yeah, it kind of took the edge off, and it was like, "Oh, that's hilarious."
So,
We're in Spock's brain. That was a
so,
horrible
I
episode.
wouldn't. Another thing, I wouldn't play this game in the dark, dark, dark. Like, not pure dark. And not because there's anything scary, because it's Star Trek. There's nothing scary. Because,
There's plenty scary in Star Trek.
huh?
Nothing. Keep going.
Did you say there's nothing scary? Or there's plenty?
There's plenty scary in
Well, at
Star
least
Trek.
not what we were at.
Yeah.
Because what the problem was being in the dark, we're playing in a dark room because we thought it'd be fun and it was easier to see the TV.
Well, we had it dark because there was a glare
Yeah,
on
that
my TV
too.
screen.
But the transition from gameplay to cutscenes, they are
Oh, that's
blinding.
right.
They are
It's
so blinding.
it's J.J. Abrams Star Trek. So J.J. Abrams really favors little spots of bright light. And so we'd go from a dark loading screen to suddenly there's an explosion, a
An
supernova, and it
explosive
was it
light.
was like a retina searing brightness.
It like there were times where we all of us in the room jumped because it was so sudden and it was just so blinding. It was just like we had to pause for a moment. We had to pause the game for a moment because it just hurt.
Yeah, we had to just let our eyeball let our eyes regrow a layer of skin.
Right? It was just oh goodness. It was I don't even know. It kind of hurt. So,
All in all, though, I would give this game. I mean, it was a 10 for me, but I'm easily pleased with Star Trek.
yeah, which brings up what I brought up on the screen right now. So, I am not an avid follower, but I really love following Giant Bomb because
I'd call you avid.
no, my brother's a little more avid than me because I don't watch every day. Like maybe weekly, like once a week, I'll pull up their videos. Maybe not avid. I'm a big fan of Giant Bomb. I'm not like on their site every day, but I do enjoy their content. And they actually did a review for the Star Trek video game. You still there?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm listening.
Oh, okay. You weren't responding. I was like, hello? And they gave it a 2 out of 5, and it was written by Alex Navarro. And from what I've read, I haven't read this whole thing. I've seen little bits and pieces. What I've heard from people, they complain when Alex reviews sometimes because they think he's too harsh or something. But I don't think because at the beginning he states that he loved the old Star Trek for sci-fi storytelling and all this stuff. But throughout he's mentioning how it's like a knockoff of Gears of War, how the AI isn't very great, the camera is a little uh the story is promising at the beginning of the game, but as it goes on, it's a little shaky. And I'm just like skimming over this. So these
Mhm.
aren't his words. He probably goes into more detail. But from what we played, I can see I would have given it like maybe a 3. Like I would have been
Yeah, I
like
was like, I think a 2 seems a bit harsh.
but then again, we only went through like the first hour.
We did.
So I think he played the whole game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to
Yeah.
get this thorough overview. Um he also said something about the character models not being as great because it's based on the movie.
Yeah, I'll agree on that, but it wasn't enough to bother me.
Yeah, but they have to be thorough in these reviews. Because you know there are people who complain about character models
Hmm.
like terribly, terribly. I think
People who complain about all sorts of stuff.
so. I think I think you'll agree with this one. I know you don't play Gears of War, and I don't play Gears of War, but I think you'll agree with this comment. He said, the Gorn essentially make for a cheap Locust stand in this Gears of War clone. They're all snarl and ugly and no real personality to speak of.
Although, to be fair, they didn't have much of a personality in the original series either.
Yeah, but weren't you guys pointing out that these aren't the Gorn that we've seen?
Yeah, we were like, these aren't Gorn. Why? What happened to the Gorn? But um, what am I thinking of? The original series Gorn was obviously hilarious. Um, they redid the Gorn in the newest Star Trek series Enterprise, and it looked closer to that.
It did.
And yeah, it was more lizard than person.
Mhm.
It didn't look exactly like that, but it looked closer.
Yeah.
And it was like a hybrid of the two.
I think again remember that the person writing this review, he said he's more of a fan of the older series. So
Hmm.
maybe he's just like iffy about the
Uh,
newer.
that sounds like a bit of a bias to me.
Well, you're biased
I
about this game too, so.
I'm biased too, but I'm also I don't have a preferred Star Trek series either. I like the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it's a generation thing. What can you do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
But
some generations, it doesn't mean that they don't like the later stuff.
oh no, I'm not saying he doesn't like the later stuff. I'm just saying he might be a little bit biased because he's so attached to the original series
Yeah, and that's
and he
okay.
prefers it over. And that's fine. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying that might have biased the review just a little bit.
Just itty bit.
Yeah.
Whatever. Uh, but that's all I got out of it, because, again, I haven't read it. But by what we've played, I would give it a 3 out of 5.
Mhm.
And that's because I'm not a fan. I mean not that I'm not a fan of the series. I think the series is interesting. I've just have not been exposed to it.
Oh yeah, and that's yeah,
So
exactly.
me as a person, I don't have a bias like you do.
Yeah.
And I would give it maybe a 3. I had such a hard time with switching weapons, and that was because I saw the controls for the weapons, and I was like,
Yeah, I didn't know you could switch weapons at one point. I just remembered that I'd picked up one and I thought, "Oh, that's cool. How do I get back to my phaser?"
yeah. So I think I think the explanation on how to use the weapons was fine. I think
The tutorial
there was no
uh
tutorial.
well, no, what I want to say is the tutorial is like one of those pop-up window things where it'll randomly pop up windows like it does in Dead Space.
Mhm.
And that's fine. My only problem with it is that it seems like a pop-up ad to me.
Yeah.
And after a while you get a bunch of them and you're like, "Okay,
Oh
I
yeah.
got it, but I'm
After
getting
like
shot at and
after like the
I'm trying
fifth
to
one,
shoot and read this thing at the same time."
yeah. After the fifth one, I just started ignoring them, and I would see like trigger button. I was like, oh, R2. Okay, shoot, 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 shoot,
Yeah.
shoot, and it was just like, oh my gosh. I noticed something, and it was when we were doing the one mission with where you had to do one thing, I had to do the other, and
Mhm.
we started off where I was gonna try and shoot the panel that opened while you opened the door, but I couldn't find it.
Mhm.
Well, when we had died and had to start over, and I did the opening and you did the panel shooting, I saw that it showed you where the panel was, like it did a cutscene. Well, when I was shooting the panel, it only showed the cutscene of what you were supposed to do to activate it.
Yeah, and I'm kind of thinking that.
I think they clashed because it happened at the same time.
Well, no, what I was gonna say is I think the cutscenes were designated for those specific characters, so we were in the wrong roles.
I don't know
That's what
because
it. That's kind of what it seemed like to me. Like the game was set up to show a cutscene for two specific characters in two specific places, but it didn't. Um,
understand. But
no, like it didn't what's the word? It didn't tell our characters to go to a specific spot. It just kind of let us choose.
yeah, but I think because it showed when you went to the button to activate, it showed you what you were supposed to do. And when I went to the button to activate, it showed me what I was supposed to do. But when you went to go shoot the thing, the panel, it showed you what to do. But when I went to go shoot it, it didn't show me because it was too busy showing you how to activate it. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think either because I don't think it was like designated character because it didn't in the cutscene it didn't show the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think either I wasn't paying attention or the game kind of, you know, like when you press a button and it skips something.
Yeah, you skip the cutscene on accident,
That could have happened, or the cutscenes just clashed.
maybe.
But overall, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was hilarious. I think it's
Yeah, it
a
was a lot of
I
fun.
feel like it's a game you're gonna need to play co-op with someone because playing by yourself would be like a little it would be like going through frustration without support.
I don't know. I'm gonna be interested to try this thing out by myself
Oh
too.
yeah, I'm not saying don't do it by yourself. I'm just saying if I were to play it by myself, I have a feeling I would get more frustrated than anything. But that was only because I was frustrated with the camera and I was frustrated with the shooting and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, stop
You were out
overheating."
of your
I
element.
was out of my element. It was just like, "Whoa." But overall, I don't think it's a bad game. I know there are worse games than this game. I am actually pretty positive there are worse games than this game. There's like a huge mountain of games that are worse than this game. And this game is pretty decent if you like really 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 love the series. And if you're just like a casual fan of the series, you know, from the hour that we played, I would give it a try. I wouldn't buy it right off the bat, but I would give it a try to see
Yeah.
if it's like your cup of tea kind of thing. But if you're like an avid lover of Star Trek,
Don't even do it again, I swear to
hey,
God.
you know what? It is 2 in the morning. I can do what I want.
Whatever. I do what I want.
But if you're like an avid fan of like Star Trek and you really liked the new movie, I mean, yeah, you'll probably end up buying this no matter what anyone says. And that is my 2 cents.
All right. Yeah. I liked that my whole reason for buying it because at first I really wasn't sure about buying it because I thought it was going to be like a like whenever a new movie comes out and they make the cheap little video game to go along with it and it's never that
Yeah.
good. I thought that's what it was going to be, so I was like, "Oh, I'll just pass up on it."
See,
And then I read up on it and it's actually like a whole new mission. It's like a whole new Star Trek episode but for the Star Trek AU.
Star Trek, burning alive on the sun, which
And
happened a lot.
yeah. But so I liked it for that. It was like its own little story within that universe.
Yeah. I think they could have just executed it better. Maybe like tweaked a few things, fine-tuned a few things.
Yeah.
But it's not bad. I don't think it's bad.
No, I didn't. I thought it was awesome.
I thought it was fun. I think it's fun because I got to play with you.
Yeah.
Oh, what was I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Oh, Kirk. I don't want to be Kirk.
Well, too
I
bad.
am not
I'm
Kirk.
Spock.
Your
I'm
uncle is
Spock.
Kirk. I want to be someone cool.
Well, Spock's already taken.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm
Oh my
Spock.
god.
Spock is my
The
man.
world was gonna, like, the star was gonna explode, and he was just like, hey, baby.
Like, well, because that's Kirk.
I
He
know.
he hooks up with every girl in every episode.
But
That's just tradition.
still, it was uncalled. For someone who has not seen Kirk, except for the movie. I was just like, dude, we are going to be set on fire. Move your ass.
That, that doesn't matter to him. Are you kidding me?
It matters to me.
Kirk's the kind of guy where he's trying to figure out when he would not do it, and he's like, I'd have to be sick with like the I'd probably do it on the flu. I'm sorry,
I don't see the
sort of
flu
thing.
stopping him. I see, like, maybe amputation of his mini Kirk.
I'd see as he'd have to be physically tranquilized and not awake.
And still, he'd probably sleepwalk his way to a lady's room.
Right.
Anywho, so Star Trek. It was pretty interesting. Pretty fun. Pretty fun having people screaming everywhere. Uh, where we left off, that mission was, like, difficult.
Yeah, that was hard. That one was a timed mission, and we failed
we
horribly
got
because
it.
we took way
We
too
got
long.
exploded. But the funniest part was where you had to drag my character.
Yes.
And
There's a part where uh Kirk gets his leg broken and Spock has to haul him to sick bay, and
I was getting
the
frustrated with her.
controls on that part were so wonky because you can only move straight and you can't turn. You have to turn the camera
To
in
turn.
order
It
to
was tank
turn.
controls.
And I was not a fan of that. So I ran into I don't know how many walls and debris barricades trying to get out.
And before
And
that,
they're
she
like, "Why
couldn't
are you
even
going
pick
back
me
down the
up.
stairs? You have to go up the stairs." And I'm like, "I'm on the wrong stairs."
And even before that, she couldn't even pick me up. She couldn't pick Kirk up. And I was just like, you know what? I'm crawling up the stairs. So I was running away from her, dragging my broken body across the floor. And and everyone was like, "Oh my god, you're letting her get away." And it was just like, "Oh, she finally was able to pick up Kirk." And then
And
it got
run.
awkward.
It got awkward.
Speaking of
It did.
awkward, every time you had to open a broken door
Yes, so every time whenever there's a door that's not working, you have to pry it open.
with
And the way they
teamwork.
pry it open is that either one of the guys will kind of shimmy his way in, and then you have to shimmy your way like under his arms and like across his front or something.
Yeah.
Either way, it ended up with like it looked kind of suggestive. So every time we would do that, my uncle is in the back going bound chicka wow wow. And I'm just like, stop
He was
it!
like, "Oh yeah,
There's a there's a
shimmy
4 year
there."
old running around in here, and you're doing this.
Oh, we had to censor ourselves every time the 4-year-old ran in. I would be like on the verge of cursing, and he would run in, and I'd be
No,
like,
you
"Bleep, bleep,
you,
bleep."
you cussed a couple times in front of him.
I didn't mean to.
I know you didn't, but you did,
I didn't even
and
know he was in the
I don't,
room.
and he didn't pick up on it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, there was a couple times you were like, shit, and I'm like, he's right in front of you.
I didn't see him. I think I was too focused. And your uncle didn't seem to care either. I think your
Yeah,
uncle cussed in front of him a lot too.
I know. Oh, that poor kid's gonna have a potty
He
mouth.
is. So, Star Trek is amusing and fun, and I think we should move on to what we're playing right now.
Yes, very briefly, because we have an announcement to make too.
We do?
We do, and you know this announcement. But very briefly, what you are playing currently.
Okay. Spunky, what are you playing currently?
Okay, I'm playing Assassin's Creed Brotherhood right now. Uh,
Ooh.
ooh,
Ah. Oh.
I I'm fairly new to Assassin's Creed. I know it's been out forever, but
Fairly
yeah.
new, meaning she beat the first two games already.
Um, yeah, my like I mentioned this in an earlier podcast. My brother went out and got me a Vita for Christmas, a whole Vita, and got
Not
me two
half a Vita,
games,
not a fourth of a Vita, but an entire Vita.
an entire Vita.
Because
Yes,
you know they sell them in halves. Did
yeah,
you know?
you can installments.
Yeah,
You can afford the whole thing,
it's pretty.
but
It's pretty complicated.
yeah. Anywho's, uh, yeah, one of the games he had bought me was Assassin's Creed 3, and because I kept saying, "Oh yeah, I really want that," and so he picked up on that, even though I haven't played the series at all. It looked cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm OCD like that, so
She
when I
picked up the
found out he
first
had
two.
when he had it was actually four.
The first something.
Yeah. Um so yeah, so I decided that I needed to get I have to play it in order. I can't play out of order. That's just too weird for me.
It's like reading a
This
book series out of order.
and in this game series, and you all know this, you definitely want to play from the very beginning because this is a very in-depth and intricate storyline, and you'll be so confused if it's out of context. So I got all of them, and I've played one and two, and I'm on Brotherhood now, and I'm not super far into it right now. So, but I'm getting there. It's fun. I like it. Ezio's an ass, but I like it.
Well, isn't he always an ass?
He is. That's why we love him.
Oh, okay. Well, how fun.
So what are you playing currently?
What am I playing currently? Well, it's no surprise. I'm playing Persona 4 Golden.
For for the thousand billionth millionth time.
And you know what? I don't regret it. And if you have a problem with it, I don't care. Because I love this game to death. I love it so much, even though I have it for the PlayStation 2 and I have about 190 hours racked up on it, I still bought it for the Vita. And I'm not sorry.
Just for those extra little bits.
And it's actually pretty worth it. Like, the extra bits
Yeah,
are so worth it.
at least it's not like, you unlock new costumes. And you're like, dang it, I spent $50 for two
I
costumes.
actually didn't spend anything. I got it for Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
And the extra scenes and the extra social links and just the extra persona, the extra everything. Everything is extra. There's even an extra boss fight. And
Yeah, you told me about that.
I'm just happy duck. And right now I'm on Naoto's dungeon and I'm about to fight her boss. And probably after this Babble cast, I'm going to fight her boss because you know what? You want to know what, Spunky?
What?
I am not going to make the same mistake as last time. I am not going to make the same mistake as I did in Persona 2 on the PlayStation 2. I mean, Persona
Oh
4 the
my
PlayStation
goodness.
2.
Yes, let me share that story with you right now.
It is
So,
sad. It is so
so
desperately
in
sad.
in Typo's infancy of fangirling over this series,
I'm
she
not
she had
sorry.
read she had read online that there's a scene
For
uh
Christmas.
for Christmas where Naoto tries on a normal feminine outfit for the main character, and this is if you're in the romantic link with
Which I
her,
am, or will
which
be.
she is.
Because
Or
she
yeah,
is the
whatever.
only one that I really care for as a romantic link in this game.
So
Besides Yosuke.
she so she's at my house. What was this, still in high
It
school?
was in high school.
Yeah, so we're at my house, a bunch of high school teenage girls up at 3 in the morning playing video games because that's what normal teenage girls do.
Yeah. They don't
uh,
talk about boys or paint their nails. They play video games and try to
no,
beat boss
no,
battles.
yeah. So she's the entire time we're loading this thing up, she's bragging about how she's gotten this all ready and that how she's gonna sit me down and make me watch this thing,
Because I was
and we
prepared. You don't
she
know.
was
I had
and
everything
so
written out. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna
she had a
beat
whole battle
Adachi,
plan and
and I was
everything.
ready.
So she's fighting Adachi, one of the bosses, and the thing, and it was supposed to go that after you beat him, it goes straight to Christmas, and then that's one of the scenes that pops up.
Yeah, and I
So
was
she beats
ready.
Adachi, and what happens? We go straight to the end of the game
We go straight to
because
New Year's.
Typo totally goofed up on one little part and answered a question wrong, and it
No,
just messed up the whole scene.
no, that wasn't what happened. What
What
happened
happened?
was I saved and I waited too long to fight Adachi. I fought Adachi on the last day you were able to fight him,
Ah, which is not what you're supposed to do.
which was on Christmas Eve. Christmas
So
Eve.
you were fighting during that scene then.
Yeah, I was
She was
the
showing that
the
outfit to someone else.
the day that scene was supposed to happen. I was fighting Adachi, and I did not know that it happened on Christmas Eve. For some reason in my brain, I was like, oh, Christmas is the next day. I'm gonna get my scene. Well, I didn't. And when I didn't, I threw the biggest fit in the world.
She and y'all, it was
It
beautiful.
was pathetic.
It was beautifully tragic and pathetic. It was the picture of pitiful.
I threw myself
She
across her
she
room.
there was a moment of silence. Her mouth was open, and I thought I saw a tear at
There
first.
were
There was
tears.
there was no sound coming out of her, and then finally you just saw it dawn in her head, and she was like, "What happened?" And it was just this whole soap opera when it was, and I saw the whole process in her mind. There was the whole 6 stages of grief going through her head. I saw
And
I
can I
saw
interject real quick? When I said
mm,
what happened, it wasn't very loud, but it
no,
was a very sad.
it was a
It was
very
like a
muted, shaky
child.
little what
It was like
happened.
a child losing its puppy. Like
And that
she could
sounds
not
awful, but that
stop
was not
laughing.
I could not. I saw denial, and then it quickly went to what's the next
Anger.
stage? Anger, grief, bargaining, and then finally like begrudging acceptance, all within the span of like a minute.
It was
And that was possibly my most favorite trump card in high school
shut
for the
up.
rest of our high school career.
Because I couldn't live it down and I was just so sad.
Yes.
It was almost worse than that one time you woke me up in the middle of lunchtime. And when you woke me up, you were like tapping me, or someone tapped me, and I was falling asleep during lunchtime, and I just shot up and just like gave the ugliest look in the world. And
I don't remember that.
it was our friend, Italian guy. It was during lunch, and it was like junior year. That's probably why you don't remember it.
Yeah, it's probably why I don't remember it. I had a very dark junior year. I won't get into it, people. You don't need to know about
No,
that.
but what had happened is I was falling asleep on the table, and Italian guy, who we called Italian guy because he looked like Italian guy, but he's Hispanic, and he was like wedging himself through to get to his seat, and he hit me with his backpack. Well, I was so tired. I like shot up and I stared at Spunky, and Spunky said like for a split second she just saw this mean flash of anger, and then it was like, oh,
I
well,
think I'm vaguely remembering that. I'm remembering being surprised at the odd flash of anger.
because you're like, what did I do? Uh, I would like to say I don't get angry very often. I get irritated.
That's a lie.
No, I get irritated.
There is a
There
difference.
is a difference. Angry is reserved for the most evilest things. Most of the time I just get irritated. That time I think I was like angry because I was like, oh, I want to sleep. No sleep for us. So, I am going to do this right. I am going to get every single scene I possibly can. Oh my gosh, I was so scared because I was doing Yukiko's social link, and I try with the other girls I try to be friendly, but I try to keep them friend zoned for obvious
hmm
reasons. And I don't know what I said. I thought I said the most friend zoned thing, but Yukiko was like, "Oh, she is staring at you with love." And I'm like, "Girl,
you
back
best
up."
you best be backing up off of me, man.
I was like, "Oh my god, get off me." I was so like confused. But yes, I have a plan, and this plan better work. And if it doesn't work, I'll probably go cry to Spunky, and
All
she can
right.
laugh at me. So Spunky,
Yes.
Spunky,
Yes.
Spunky.
Okay. Okay.
What's your announcement?
Okay. Yeah. You know this you know this announcement. I've made it already on our Tumblr page, but I thought I would just re-announce it out here just
Games?
for added effect. Yes.
Oh, okay. I know what we're
We
talking about. Yay!
Yes, you know what we're talking about. I put it up on our Tumblr page, but I'm gonna put it out here just so that way, just for
Because we
added
like repeating
coverage.
ourselves.
We do because I mean, that's all we've got.
Yeah,
That's all we've got.
I know.
Anyway,
Oh.
uh, Typo and I are interested in starting, video game commentary or let's plays, however you recognize
I'll
that.
probably come up with a witty name somehow. And it will have the word Babbles in it. I
Yeah.
just have to think of something.
I thought about calling them fiddles, but that sounded so wrong in so many ways. So that idea got scrapped pretty fast. There will be no fiddles. So, yes, we're interested.
Ew.
We would like to start doing some recorded gameplay sessions.
Now,
Uh,
I must warn you all, I bought a game called Dandelion, which is made for something, something. Hold on. I know the name. Wishes made for.
it's one of those dating sim
Wishes brought
games.
to you. And I find it completely. Well, I like the game. I find it interesting. But I also find parts of it completely hilarious. And I might, record a bit here and there. Maybe. I'll think about it.
Right. At the moment, we're slowly investing in the means to record off of my PS3.
PlayStation. Station.
But obviously we don't have that capability right now, so we're kind of stuck with what's on the computer.
Yeah.
So we have Steam, so whatever games are available on Steam, we'd be happy to try out.
And I have
Uh,
Binding of Isaac, and I have not tried it yet.
yeah, we can do really any kind of PC games, like she mentioned the Dandelion game. That's not on Steam, but
But I
any
bought
kind of
it.
PC game, but you bought it. I also have an emulator
You know
for
what?
I only have one for Super Nintendo right now, but I can easily
Get other ones.
get other ones, so I can do some emulated
Spunky.
games.
You
What?
know what I found out?
What?
The game Fez is coming to PC. It was an Xbox Live only thing, but it's coming
Uh,
to PC and it is so fun. It looks fun. Like, we need to look it
huh.
up.
That'd be interesting.
It's called
So,
Fez.
I mean, obviously, we'll come up with some to play, but we would really, really like to hear some ideas from you all. If you'd just like to drop a suggestion on if you want us to play a specific game. We'll be playing plenty, but it's always fun to, play something that you guys specifically want to see.
Yeah.
So I have it out there. You can answer the little post on our Tumblr page, or you can leave us the fan mail thing.
Which I
I don't
don't
know, the
prefer
private
because it
message.
looks weird.
Or you can drop us a little ask
Yeah, I
question
just
thing.
just go to our ask box.
If you're on Tumblr, obviously you know how to use it. You know how to get a hold of us if you need to.
Yeah,
Uh, give us some suggestions. And as
because
always,
we'd
we're
prefer
always
not to deal
looking.
with email because we already get enough mail from various other things.
Yeah.
So, ask box always open. Open to suggestions. Just, type, 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 type. Hey, typo. You shouldn't talk like you're bored the whole time. I'm not bored the whole time. But you should, have a bit more personality. Suggestions like that. Or suggestions like, hey, you should review Barbie Dreamland and tell me what you think. And
To which we'll say no and stop talking to us. I thought we blocked you. But
I don't know how we'd get a copy of Barbie Dreamland.
I don't even know if people still sell that anymore because it's just so
I think
horrible.
on eBay. Or we can direct them to a Let's Play on the Let's Play
Oh,
archives.
right. So so there's that. And as always, we're always looking for new topics, to
Because
discuss
I can only talk
because
about Persona for so long without feeling like I'm annoying the hell out of everyone.
I was gonna say I was like, no, you could talk for hours about Persona.
Yeah, that's why you have to let me finish.
That's why I did. So that I think that is a good place to break here. I think we're gonna conclude this session. We've already talked for way too long,
And it is
and
2:30 a.m. on our end of the
yeah,
scale.
Spunky's going to bed. I know you're gonna play your video game. I'm going to bed because
I'm
I'm
actually
tired.
rethinking. I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll go to bed. Maybe I'll stay up and stare at something.
We should be getting or uploading more of these podcasts a little more regularly now that we've gotten over the insane period of school and school's almost out.
Yeah, like there's gonna
So
be a gap where we will have free time before finals, or I'll have free time before finals.
I will.
Yeah. So it should be a little more of a steady flow. And you know what? It
Yeah.
may not fall on the same day, but it'll definitely be like within the week. Because sometimes our work schedules, sometimes I work a consistent schedule, but Spunky will get scheduled weird days
My schedule's wonky. It's just, comes the territory.
with retail.
Yes.
I'm a little more steady ish.
Yeah.
Unless, they have to break my hours up, which then I'm like,
Yeah.
wee! So,
All right.
we love you guys. Although
You
not in
guys
that
are
way. Because that would be weird
no.
and we don't know each other, and before we can like move on to that relationship, I think we
I
need to get
I
to know each other, which I really don't want to do. But
I'd just like to keep things professional actually.
yeah, same
So
here. That's what I was getting to. We need to have a professional relationship, viewers. Needs to stay professional, needs to stay in the office. Outside of the office, uh,
but not too professional.
uh, blah, 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 blah.
But anywho, we're out.
We're done.
Have a wonderful week
And
as it starts
night,
out.
day. Have fun. We're gonna enjoy our
Have fun.
thunderstorms.
Don't do drugs. Stay in school.
Uh, 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 don't hang out in dark alleys and drink Kool-Aid, but not the purple kind. We'll see you later.
We're we're going to bed now.
Papaya.
Goodbye, all.
Papaya.